Thomas, we're racing, right?
I don't remember. God, that is so sweet. And
This is also like
Earlier than anybody else.
Number 2.
I don't even know where my headphones are.
Oh my God, that was too. Kevin, you're gonna be last.
Oh no! I just got my house is too.
Number 3.
No, I haven't even poured one yet. This sucks.
3.
Oh fuck me!
Oh my God.
Welcome to Oops All Segments. I am your host Kevin, here with.
I'm Thomas. I'm your co-host.
This is the best podcast that's hitting your eardrums. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. It's Thomas. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to miss that catchphrase. And here we're with our special guest this week, our friend, a great, very talented improviser and tech leader, Caity Curtis.
Oh no.
Welcome to the show, Caity.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yes, tech leader Caity Curtis.
Goodness.
I guess we'll go around the wheel and do a check-in. Caity, how are you doing? What's new with you? How are you?
I'm doing great. Thomas is calling me a tech leader because yesterday I was on a tech panel doing a tech conference because I'm a tech guy.
Well, good. That's good. Was the panel fun?
The panel was fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what a lot of it was about. I was talking about doing improv in virtual reality, which is super fun. Yeah. And other people were talking about I can't even like make a joke about it because it was too complicated for me to even get like the bare level in to make fun of it. It was
Fair enough. Thomas, how are you doing, bud?
I am doing well. Pretty interesting update. I am in Michael C. Hyatt's home right now.
Right. Michael C. Hyatt was the guest that we had on.
The guest last week.
So
if you listen, we're hoping this can become a pattern that each week I move into the home of our previous guest.
Caity, we're hoping you pack up your things actually by the end of the show.
I mean, we just set up a guest bedroom, so
I will be there.
Yeah.
So Michael's out of town for Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, not to date this because it's coming out in a few weeks, but that's the time. And I'm taking care of his lovely dog, Kalu, who is mostly a chocolate lab, just an absolute sweetheart, has been sleeping in the bed with me. I love her.
That's very sweet. I hope Kim's not getting too jealous.
Yeah, Kim has to sleep on the floor. Simply not room for all of us. Sorry, baby.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I'm doing pretty good.
How are you?
Thank you, Caity. I was waiting for Thomas to ask, but
and now for our first segment.
No, wait, no, I'm doing good. The thing I was thinking about before we started recording today, like, what should I talk about on my catch up? And honestly, the most memorable thing that's happened to me in the last couple of weeks, last weekend, a friend of ours, a mutual friend of all of ours, Luke Cessalon, has moved away to Toronto from Winnipeg, and he had a bit of a going away get together at my house, and it was the most pure. Like, Luke is a huge fan of Gundam, the Japanese brand / anime / collectors, big mechs that you build kind of things. Yeah. And Thomas, it was like he must have been in heaven. The entire night was just Luke explaining different things about Gundam to us, and then showing us clips on my television. And none of us
say. Because this feels like for years he's wanted to do this and has felt like it's not, I don't have the capital to put this on my friends. And finally, I can devote an entire night.
It was like we were up late too. Like, people didn't leave until after midnight. It was like a late night of just pure Japanese manga anime.
Awesome.
I don't know what it is exactly, and I'm gonna misspeak on it, but it was it was interesting. It was also really interesting. Like I learned a lot about it.
Did he do like a full presentation? Like, and now like year 6 in Gundam was when they started developing the pilot mechs.
So Kevin was playing some music, like Gundam theme songs or something, and Luke would like halfway through a sentence talking to somebody stop himself and be like, oh, this is from this episode at this moment when this happens. Like he has like the whole soundtrack memorized.
And then he would yell at me and go, Kevin, TV this. And then I'd be like, what do you mean? And then he would take my phone and try to find a clip of it to show us how good the animation was. And it was always just a shitty YouTube rip. So it was like so bad.
Katie, did you hear Luke's plane story when he flew to Toronto?
Oh,
I did hear his plane story. I guess he was like, he's nervous for flying, so he was trying to listen to Gundam music to keep himself calm. Totally
it feels
normal.
like we're bullying him, by the way. We love Luke.
Oh, he's the best. He's the best.
Yeah. Go on, though.
So he realized this music wasn't in his like iTunes library, but he has it as a ringtone. So he was going to listen to the ringtone over and over to keep himself calm. And like minutes into this realized it wasn't coming through his headphones. He was actually just blaring it.
Like full bore from his phone, just blaring loud, like guitar fueled operatic music.
That's
like,
so funny. I hope it was like a MIDI version too, like the old ringtone, like terrible instrumentation.
Yeah, he was doing it on his Crazer. It went bad. Thomas says, I think it's time for your favorite segment.
It sure is. Everyone's favorite segment, the warm-up segment. Here we go. Let's spin that warm-up wheel.
Woo! What do we got?
It feels like we always get them in the 80s. I have 85.
It is true that we often get them in the 80s. 85 is confession time. Ooh. Participants must confess something that isn't that shameful, but is something that you need to get off your chest. Oh, interesting. Something that isn't that shameful, but is something that you need to get off your chest.
I can start.
Yeah, sure.
So I had Thanksgiving. We have some sort of like becoming new closer friends. Kim's friend Katie, and Daniel is her husband, and they're younger than us. They're like mid-20s, and they have energy, and I really like both of them. But they'll like come over and stay late, and it will be like 11:30, and I'll be like, oh, I like sleep now, and they're just like, what do you mean? Like, let's play Mario Party. Like, they just have energy still. And we had like our Thanksgiving Friendsgiving thing together. It was great. And then right after dinner, I was like dying because I've eaten way too much. I ate a bunch of Lactaid to help support the dairy intake. And, post Thanksgiving, you're like in a coma. And Katie was just like, there's a high school across the street. Let's go into the big field and play with the stuff. Like, she just had so much energy and was like, so we jumped this fence, and there's all this like football equipment, and there are these gigantic tires that the football players flip over. And Katie was like, I can do it, and like lifted one, and it was really heavy, but she did flip it. And so of course I was like, well, I have to also do this now. And like my failing 31-year-old body was just like, it was so much heavier than I thought it would be. Like, these tires are so goddamn heavy. And I like barely did it. I did it. I was like, okay, great. And then the next day at work, I like stepped funny and my knee started hurting. And I was like, and I knew it was because of the tires, but I was like, yeah, I don't know. It just feels weird. Like, I couldn't admit that, like, yeah, probably the reason I have terrible knee pain is because I tried to lift a big tire in a high school field to impress my 25-year-old friend.
You weren't able to do something that a 16-year-old boy is doing to get stronger right now. And they would have beaten you up anyway.
It was good.
That is shameful. But not that shameful. I'm still struggling to think of something. So because I live my life totally in the open. Katie.
I mean, I only have one thing coming to mind.
Yeah.
So it's like coming up on the holiday season, and like my partner Steven is like really famously like not good at buying gifts for anybody.
I didn't know that. Okay.
like not like he just won't do it. And then people like me, I'm like, oh, like it would be nice if you got me a birthday present. And it's like,
wait a minute. He's famously, this is not bad. He's just not like, that's just me.
Yeah.
This
is neutral. Well, we don't know if he's good or not because he never buys it.
Yeah. Can't judge it if he hasn't done it.
Yeah. It's been a process. He's not from like a gift giving. I don't know. It's so weird to me because I'm from a big gift giving family.
Sure.
But so, we communicated about this and he's like so determined now to like do a great job. And so it doesn't matter, right? Like even if he gets me something that I don't like I love it because I love that he's trying and I love that he's getting better at it. So last week he was like, hey, I'm going to run errands. And it was just super obvious he was going to go and try to do some Christmas shopping. And then when he like comes home, goes straight into his office, and he's like, then comes out like all normal, and then says hello to me. And then the next time he left the house, I did go looking.
You did?
Hell yeah!
No.
I did. Okay, so I didn't find it because I stopped myself, but I like went to his office and I was like, oh, I know the other places they've been before because I have done this before.
Caity!
Because
while I have
I don't know. Oh, there's the dog. I was hoping she would come.
I missed it.
Oh, she'll be back.
For those of you watching on YouTube, which you can do. There's a dog. You can take a look at this cute pooch. This is
look.
Kalu. I mean, why am I trying to call the dog that can't hear me? Kalu, come here.
She's got her headphones on too. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay, good.
Adorable, sweet.
Migrate over to Canada. So did you find? So you said you stopped yourself?
I stopped myself. I didn't like go through all his stuff. I stopped myself, but I like feel the impulse. Like I'm home alone now. Like
that's weird. The next segment, Katie's brought a segment which is just if you have secret presents in your house, open them, which is strange.
There's
Go ahead, Thomas.
There's a secondary thing that this reveals, which is that you're so confident Steve isn't going to listen to this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
if I found it, then I could like drop hints that it's something I wanted to make him feel good about it, right?
Okay.
Or I could
way of spoiling your surprise and yet justifying it. I like this. This is good.
It's very altruistic, really.
Liking it.
Practice in front of the mirror. Wow, I don't have one of these.
You're an improviser. You couldn't even just try. See, one thing I've always wondered, Caity, because you're an improviser and your partner's an improviser, is how do you ever trust what each other is saying?
Oh, like we're not funny at home.
Just totally serious.
No more jokes.
I just want to acknowledge that this dog is crying as soon as I started recording. So you might be picking some of that up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can help.
I'm pretty sure our cats are crying outside my door too. They were when I got down into the room to start recording. So there'll be a cacophony of sad pet sounds in the background. But yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think of something that's like a little shameful for me that's not that shameful. Because the thing is, anything that I can think of right now, I'm not putting that on air. But
do you think the dog was crying because of Katie's confession?
Yeah, the dog was like, please don't spoil the surprise.
Trust is so important in a relationship.
No.
Yeah.
I might have to play fetch with her while we record.
What is happening? This show.
Go ahead with your confession, Kevin.
I could tell a story about a shameful thing that happened to me as a child. That's funny? Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I was in Polo Park, which is like the big mall in Winnipeg, especially back at the time, like 1995, 1996. And so my brothers had taken me to Polo Park. My brothers are about 8 years and 10 years older than me, so they've been there. they're late and mid-teens, and they're taking their little brother out to the mall for whatever things the teens need. And there was an arcade in the basement of Polo Park Mall that some of you might remember in the bowling alley. There was like a bowling alley with an adjacent arcade. And I went downstairs and I was with my brother, my middle brother, who now I own restaurants with. And we were playing in the arcade, and I had to go to the bathroom. And I went to the front desk to ask for a bathroom key because there was a bathroom, the bathrooms were bathroom key. And the guy was like this like young teenager who was like on the phone there talking to like a friend, and he like didn't want to talk to me, so he like brushed me off, and I like went back and kept playing arcade games, and I pooped my pants. And so I go to my brother and I say, I pooped my pants. And my brother's like, oh no, we have to deal with this. So he goes, is more assertive. He gets the key from the gentleman, and we go into the bathroom. And he does his best as a like teen who's never handled children, does his best to try and clean me up. And he creates quite a bit of mess in the process. And we
wait, what?
I don't know. I'm trying to put the blame on him, but this is definitely my fault, I'm sure. But
Okay.
I don't know. There was a lot of shit, and it went places. And so my brother's like, we have to get the fuck out of here. We got to leave. We left the bathroom, and he called my other brother. I guess he couldn't have called him from his cell phone. I don't even know. Maybe he knew where he was, and we were like, we got to get out of here. And as we were leaving, I promise you this happened. The kid went in to use the washroom after us. The person who was the person who was working at the desk, and he literally just opened the door and was like, oh my God, what the fuck? As we were leaving, and we just ran out of the arcade in Polo Park. So that was shameful. So if you're listening to this by some happenstance, young person who had to clean up a young child's feces in a Polo Park arcade, hotel bathroom, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. But also I've been eating off of that story for years. So
yeah. Eating off of it.
Yeah. Off of that story.
I've been to an arcade. I've been to an arcade to play Centipede, but never Human Centipede.
Jesus. Okay. So that's something shameful that I can kind of confess. Anyway, I couldn't think of anything recently. As I said, I live my life in the open.
Yeah. But do you feel better now that you've told that?
It's off my chest. So that's good. Yeah.
Great. Okay. That's our warm-up segment.
That was our warm-up segment. Did you have a segment planned for us?
I do.
Yeah, that's not opening presents that are in your house.
If I had thought of that, you guys would be coming upstairs with me right now.
Everyone try to find a gift in your house.
Find that gift. Here's Steve's office. Where's the present?
If you have a guest on like Christmas Eve when there's likely to be presents around people's homes, you should. Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
I think this episode will be coming out at least middle of December, beginning of December. I don't remember. Yeah.
Well, then I hope everyone's having a happy New Year.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't know how months work. That's okay, but
wait. Oh, December? Did you say December?
I did, yes.
Absolutely don't know how months work.
It's all good.
All right. I still hope that, though. I still hope that for everybody.
Yeah, you can have a happy New Year in a bit.
Yeah.
All right. I have a segment planned. My segment is called The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows.
Ooh, the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. I like this. That. Yeah.
Yes.
For some reason, when I wrote the SAT, it was all words from this dictionary.
So I was traveling recently, and I went to a really cool bookstore in London. Ooh. And it had lots of books. It was like a 6-story bookstore, and this was the only one I bought. I'll show you if you can see
London, England, not London,
beautiful.
Ontario.
Look at that cover.
Oh, love that.
London,
like
England.
A constellation thing going on here. This is gorgeous.
I know. It's really nice. It's by a man named John Koenig.
Okay.
The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. And so he's he's come up with feelings that we don't quite have words for, and he's made up words for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this. And
is this so? Can I ask? Is this where that word "hiraeth" comes from? Have you heard of that one? That's the one. That one sometimes will like go viral, where it's like a feeling of homesickness for a place you cannot return to or something.
Sure, it's very much got that energy.
Great,
yeah,
love it.
Yeah. So I was thinking, I would pick out some words, read some of these feelings, and we could reflect on if we, if we've ever had that feeling before. We talk about that.
Yeah. I like this. Okay.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And
I haven't picked, or are you just gonna like randomly?
Well, I flagged a few pages before we got on the call today.
Amazing.
Or I could just flip and you could tell me to stop. There's so many words.
I mean,
I think your specific chosen ones will be better.
I think whatever you pick might be,
Okay.
Whenever we end up in random chance, things get a little hairy.
Which is the whole premise of the podcast.
To be honest.
Random segment generator.
It's true. There's a lot of unexpected shit that happens in the show anyway. So
love that. All right. Okay. Here's a good one. And I don't know why, but when I read it, I was like, I bet Thomas has had this before. Okay.
Tiny penis disorder.
It's weird that he has that in the book. It's not that absurd.
You didn't really make it up. It's just 3 words next to each other. Okay, go
ahead. The word is jusqu'à, which is somewhat based in a French word that exists, but it's not important. Here's what it means. A hypothetical conversation that you compulsively play out in your head, a crisp analysis, a devastating comeback, a cathartic heart-to-heart, which serves as a kind of psychological battle cage that feels far more satisfying than these small ball strategies of everyday life.
Wow. Yeah, no, definitely. I have whenever I'm in conflict, I will rehearse and play out the conversation many, many times in my own head. And actually, I feel like a skill that I have is writing difficult text messages. Like if someone is in a conflict and they need to write a text that asserts their needs, but is also considerate and makes the other person feel heard. Sometimes I have a few friends that will come to me for that. And I think it's because I'm constantly practicing how the appropriate way to broach a difficult subject.
You fantasy argue in your head crazy.
I do. And I want to monetize it. If I could somehow write people's texts for them, I would. It's my dream job.
Yeah, I think you pitched that on episode 1. I left you, or episode 1 or 2. I left you in the room by yourself to go get something, and then I was keep talking, and you were like, if you want me to write messages for you,
we should put that on the segment wheel that I have to write a text for our guest or something.
Oh, interesting.
Going forward. But I like that word. I definitely. Yes, great. Totally applies to me.
Practicing and arguing.
Wish I could have practiced what I was about to say just then, because that didn't come out great. But.
Yeah, I do that, and then literally every time I get in the situation, it's all out the fucking window. I'm serious. I sit around and I'm like, I have done this with you. You have written stuff for me, Thomas. And then as soon as the conversation starts, all the shit gone. I got to figure it out different now, and it's I'm always on the back foot figuring shit out when I'm arguing.
There's also a funny thing where I'll write a text message, which is very good and considerate, but sounds like it was written by a different person than the person I'm writing it for, right? It's you've never said anything like this in your life before. So how are you suddenly so gracious? What happened?
Yeah. I'm usually really shitty to people via text. So when I use Thomas's text messages, it doesn't work so well. Katie, have you ever experienced this?
I just, as a quick side note about Kevin's text, I do want to hear Katie's answer, but one time, because you're a dog person and I'm dog sitting right now. I've probably even told you this before.
No.
But, after our first directed show, we were going to the cast party, and my first dog Toby ate poison by accident. There was some poison in the house, and he ate poison, and it was like, okay, we're gonna rush him to the vet. So I just texted Kevin like,
We had
my
a cat
dog
party.
is really sick, so I might miss the cast party. We're taking him to the vet. Like, he had this poison. We're gonna try to get his stomach pumped. And Kevin was at the party, didn't respond. Then later, like a couple hours later, it's like, okay, and I'm like, thank God, like Toby got out okay. I'll be at the party in like half an hour. And Kevin's response to both messages was just the letter K.
Kevin, no.
I have no defense. Okay, I have no defense. I don't have anything to say. I'm not the best person. All right, sometimes I don't give a fuck about your shit. Okay, it's just I'm a piece of shit sometimes.
You should have hired me to write the text back to me, so I would have felt better.
I'll give you $30 to write the message to yourself. Yeah. Katie, have you ever had this feeling?
Yeah, but I just want to say that is profoundly insensitive, Kevin.
Thank you.
Really trying to move along.
And honestly, Katie, just hearing you say that is kind of healing for me. So thank you for acknowledging my pain. I appreciate it.
And you did the right thing, Thomas, by getting Toby to the vet, and it's not your fault. Dogs get into things, but it all worked out.
Wow.
Oh my
God. It would have been so nice to hear this at the time, but even now, I can feel some of those wounds starting to scab over. So thank you.
The thing was, when you showed up at the cast party, I had sort of made a point of packing it all in and wrapping things up so that there was little to be experienced by the time you arrived as well.
You told everyone at the party to start putting their shoes on when I came in, just so I would get like a hostile vibe, like sort of rapping. Oh, I guess. Oh, we can take him out. No, we can hang out for a bit longer if you want.
Yeah. You just go. Oh, well, he just got here, so yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Katie, what about you? Please, let's turn the spotlight away from me.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, I'll have arguments, hard conversations in my head that obviously either never happen in real life or happen very differently. I think it's especially true like at work, where I might like want to tell everyone how it should be and this is how it is and I'm not going to put up with this anymore. And then at the next meeting where I have an opportunity to talk, I'll be like, yeah, no problem, happy to help, of course I'll do that.
Yeah,
that is super real. I've written some like long emails that I've never sent where I just say everything, that's such a thing.
So have I. Yeah, mine are all about like sympathy for my friends' sufferings. But yeah,
I can't send this. This doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like me. Okay.
Can we get to another obscure sorrow?
What's another sorrow?
Here's another obscure sorrow. The word is elsewise, and it's an adjective.
Okay.
Struck by the poignant strangeness of other people's homes, which smell and feel different than your own. Seeing the details of their private living space, noticing their little daily rituals, the way they've arranged their things, and framed photos of people you'll never know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You're house sitting right now, Thomas.
Yeah. No, that really resonates because like it is cool being in someone's house, and like Kim is all inspired by the decorations and like different ways that they lay things out.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a thing, and it feels strangely intimate. Like people just let you into their home or their bedroom or whatever, and it's like, oh, this is like how you wake up each morning. You can sort of envision like a different life. I like that. I also love you're playing like Mad Libs with someone and you ask for an adjective and the kid's like elsewise. You got dictionary to ruin Mad Libs.
Yeah, the guy who published this just hates fucking Mad Libs. I feel like I can only ever really like. I mean, when you go over to someone's house, it's a strange experience when you're not that close with them. It's always that like bridge in the friendship, right? It's like the welcome to my home. I have done a good job of making my house constantly smell like marijuana, so that when people come into my house,
There's a certain poignancy to the smoking bowl on the table.
But I do find like when I go over to other people's houses, it's like easier to see. I'm less tired. I'm more
There's less haze.
Yeah. No, that experience. I mean, my partner has moved. We've moved in together relatively recently. I mean, within the last year. And she's moved into out of a home that she's been in for a while into my home that I've been living in for 10 plus years. And I think it's like there's like a very that's this elsewise like phenomenon experience like descriptor. I think it very much like explains that there is some like intrinsic like sensational based things that like kind of make you feel a little different in a space and take a long time to adjust to. And I think that like getting used to how a house like feels and smells and sounds and like your physical, like your bathroom like routine is probably more muscle memory than you think, right? Like if you ever like moved your toothbrush holder or something, it's like
impossible.
The amount of times I've accidentally pissed in Michael's sink this weekend. I walk in, I turn left, and I start peeing. Man, that's muscle memory.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of pet sitting also, and I would have like clients who I would go back to their houses over and over many years, and it's amazing how it'd be like there's the house on Dromore Street, and I go there, and then I have that Dromore Street lifestyle, and then next week I'll be in a different place, and like you settle into it where you're like, because however they've set up their things, and I never really met the people, but that's I feel like I know them intimately.
It's kind of like a Airbnb thing, but like even more because it's not set up for other people; it's set up for them. Yeah.
And that's then cool. there's changes too. You'd notice over the years, like I think they're about to get a divorce, like because like now the guest room looks more lived in. So like what's going on here?
Holy shit! Yeah. You're writing your own conversation to try and fix their relationship.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating. Oh. Yeah. I used to clean people's places for a little while. That was like a job that I had. And that is like a different thing, but it also kind of breaks how you look at other spaces. Like when you go into people's homes, it's like the first thing I'm looking at is assessing how much money I have to ask for to clean it. And it's like, it's not a good way to look at someone's home. So I'm glad that I don't have that as part of my life anymore, because it felt very like, oh, that's not great. And okay, I'm gonna have to spend an hour doing that. And like,
To return to the confessions thing, do you guys ever look in medicine cabinets?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if I ever have. No, I don't think I do.
I've looked in medicine cabinets like for something that I need. If there's another woman kind of like me living there, like I feel like there's an unwritten like you can look under the sink for a tampon rule.
Yeah,
sure.
But or like an Advil or something. But I know I have a friend who will like look at people's like medications and like figure out what's wrong with them when they're in there. I think that's too much.
That feels really invasive. That's got to be a line across, right? Like,
especially like now that I'm becoming a counselor, like I'm way more like it's so inappropriate, but like I can see the appeal, like just out of curiosity to just see what's going on. Like, oh, you have stool softener. That's fun. I'm describing my own medicine cabinet.
Yeah. To be honest, there was a stool softener in my medicine cabinet for years that I did not buy. I think
up
one of
until
my parents
the arcade incident, you were taking them every day.
Yeah, I got it in 1995, which was at Pull Apart. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, Caity, do you have another word for us?
Let's do one more word.
Sorrow.
I think. Yeah.
One more sorrow.
Sure. This also I think is appropriate for the conversation we've had so far. The word is lycotic. Anxiously excited to introduce a friend to something you think is amazing. A classic album, a favorite restaurant, a TV show that they're lucky enough to watch for the very first time, which prompts you to continually pull their face, waiting for the inevitable rush of awe, only to cringe when you discover all the work's flaws shining through for the very first time.
Oh, I know this so well. I know it so well.
This is, I think, the platonic ideal of showing someone a podcast you like on a road trip. Like that, there's nothing more.
There's probably someone going through this right now.
Yeah. We should be so lucky.
Yeah.
But no, showing someone a podcast you like is like, it's such a long commitment, and you have such a different relationship with the hosts than they do. And it just, that's the worst for me. Like with movies, I love a lot of movies, and sometimes I won't show them out of fear that they won't like it. But I am like loyal. Like I will not question the movie's greatness because they didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's great, you're wrong, but it still hurts my feelings. Whereas a podcast, it's very easy to be like, yeah, I guess a lot of this is just bullshit. Like, there's not much here.
Yeah. I feel that
you're like, oh well, actually, the Nick is the one who he likes hot salad. That's actually like a joke on the show, so that's a good, like, you have to explain it to
them. Yeah, no, I feel that. Like I think it's also like a creative thing and an artistic thing too, right? Like maybe it's a little bit of a comedy community thing, like when you're friends with people. And I remember when, like, I was so afraid to show my partner I Think You Should Leave, because I loved it as a show and I thought it was very funny. And I was just like, but it's also like super, super specific, right? And if you're not into that brand of kind of absurdist, like humor, that's sort of like this weird on the just yelling angry things weirdly, it can feel very like alienating. And so you're like, oh, this is a thing that my friends and I really love. Do you like it too? It's fine if you don't, but maybe you do. And so she liked it, by the way. But I feel that. But also I have like sent Thomas many like things for us to, like, I send you albums sometimes that I like, or like records, which I like. We both like hip hop, and so like we can kind of bond over that sometimes. And but I sometimes I'll send like a script that I'm like interested in producing, and I have had it happen to not just Thomas. I've had other people I've wanted to work with send them scripts and then be like, I think this sucks because of this and this, and I've been like, ah, fuck. And it just is like when you get excited about doing something and then feel bad about it, it's a really like it stings, even though it's not like that.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean it's worse just because someone else doesn't have the same relationship to it that you do, but it does happen. How about you,
I've
Caity?
got a script on my desktop that Kevin sent me that I have not read yet,
and I'm currently awaiting your appraisal of it so that I can hear whether or not you even like it. And
He's
I'm
going to
scared.
send a really thoughtful text message about it.
Yeah.
Written by Caity.
I'll do
just
that.
Says K. Did you get this? Did you get the script? Okay. Do you want to do this with me? Okay.
I have this feeling often as well. Right now I'm going through this with the show Fleabag, which is a 2-season show, and season 2 is incredible and season 1 is fine. And I really want Steven to like experience season 2 the way that I did. I love it. It's one of my favorite love stories, but you have to put the time in to get through season 1. So it's like, I know it's worth it, but he's like, okay, can we like,
is there like a summary games? I can watch? Sure.
Yeah. And then I watch it, and I'm watching it through his eyes, and I know he can't understand yet. And then I just feel like, I'm like, no, this is bad. This is dumb. Let's turn it off. Get all embarrassed. But like Luke, to bring it back to Gundam, when we were laughing so hard and not like at him, right? Like
it was just the amount of joy in the room. It was just there was like so much joy. He was so happy to show his friends something like that. Luke is actually really so Luke also showed me The Good Place, which I had watched like a season of and been like, yeah, that was fine and it was fun, but I never like stuck it through. And it's not 100% in my opinion perfect show, but it is damn good, and it's like really funny and really well acted and well written, and like I was just like, and it's so fun when it clicks, when it works. It's so fun to get excited about something with somebody and be like, this thing, yeah, and this thing, yeah, and then this thing, and so it's so much worse when it doesn't. It's just like, yeah. One of my favorite shows is The Wire, and you can't show anybody The Wire because it takes them 6 episodes to give a shit about The Wire, and it's a hard show to get into, but it's so good if you just try.
Or like Friday Night Lights season 2, like it's a tough slog, but the best season is season 4, so you got to stick it out.
Yeah.
The lesson from Luke is you have to love what you love so enthusiastically that even though nobody else is ever gonna like it, I will always have a positive association to Gundams because
sure. Like that was special. It was very special.
I don't know why we talk about Luke so much on the podcast, but
really
I have
him on as a guest.
I don't think so. I just don't think he fits with the vibe, but
he's on our other show.
But video games are a big thing that he and I recommend back and forth, and like that's another one where it's really scary if someone, like, for some reason it feels like, oh, they spent like $20 on this game, so I really hope they like it. And like there's certain games that are
before we started recording.
Like certain games that are really important to me that I'm like, this is like the greatest game ever made, but you have to like stick it out. I'm sure Lucas talked about Hollow Knight to you, Katie.
Katie's playing Hollow Knight.
I kind of stopped because I was like, I can't. It's too hard. I got stuck, and now Luke moved away, so he used to come over and help when I got stuck.
And like kind of beat you through the hard parts and get your character through the struggle.
Yeah, but now what? He's gone, so
now you got to go to Toronto if you want to beat a level in Hollow Knight.
Like mail him my Switch. Yeah.
You have to create like a marionette where it's like Luke's hands and you have them at home with you and he can put on the gloves and then play.
All your VR improv skills can come into play here, Katie.
This is good. I'm getting ideas here.
Control someone else's video game system through another video game system.
Should we try to do one quick wrap-up segment?
Like another
the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows.
Yeah, let's do it. Here, you ready to give it a spin, T?
I am.
Boom.
First is the worst. Second is the best. Segment 2.
I was so worried about this. This is Shot Clock. Now, this is a willing participants game. But it says you're not even in your own house, Thomas. So I don't know how this is gonna fucking work.
There's liquor here.
Okay. Katie, I don't know if you drink or not. If you don't drink, you don't have to do this. If you do, by all means. But here's the description of the segment. Immediately after reading this description, the reader will count to 3. All willing participants will source a shot glass and alcohol. Each participant must race to drink 3 shots of liquor as fast as they can, preferably near the microphone, and announce their completion. The last one to finish the shots must immediately take another shot. I'm going to do the counting shortly. If any of you are staying here, then feel free to fill the air. If you're not, we'll see you soon, folks.
Okay.
3. Oh, wait, I'm counting 2, 3, right? So 1, 2, 3.
Right back.
Okay. I guess I was closer to booze than they were. I've got a bottle of maple whiskey. It's almost gone. It's really good in like apple cider. I think we're racing right now, so I'm going to start.
Okay. I've got mine. It's a Tennessee moonshine. So I'm going to start drinking as well.
Oh, this is so sweet on its own. Okay. Thomas, we're racing, right?
I don't remember. God, that is so sweet and
this is also like
earlier than anybody else.
Number 2.
I don't even know where my headphones are.
Oh my God, that was 2. Kevin, you're gonna be last.
Oh no! I just got my house is
Number 3.
No, I haven't even poured one yet. This sucks.
Great.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh my God.
Well, I guess I'll just line up 4 fucking shots now.
You lose, Kevin. Well, we all lose in a way.
It's so early for this.
This is a nightmare.
I have to go to work after this. Oh, okay.
I have to. What do I have to do? I'm gonna hang out with my high school friends.
Oh shit.
Kevin, what do you have?
This is salted caramel Crown Royal.
Okay.
It's so sweet. I'm gonna go to the Jameson.
We all grabbed the sweetest things.
Terrible idea.
The sweetest nectar.
1 shot of jam.
Such an obscure sorrow to get day drunk on sweet liqueur.
Kevin, why are you gasping for breath right now?
I honestly ran too much. All the booze is upstairs and I'm in the basement. So I had to run up a flight of stairs and
Yeah.
I don't have much booze in the house anymore because Karen, I don't really drink that much.
So this is kind of what I do for my job at Drunk Shakespeare. We take
so
several
fine.
shots and then we
Oh,
perform Macbeth. So, yeah, this is fine, I
All right.
guess.
You got a soliloquy or something you can do?
I finished 3.
But I won't.
Okay.
Why do these things always happen? It's like the last fucking segment.
It's always at the end, so it's not fun.
It's not like
we all just say bye.
I'm gonna go be fucking drunk now for the rest of my day. Here's the last shot.
People get to say they did it, but nothing else.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Good work.
4 shots.
I have a headache already.
Oh, wow.
Like it's been 1 minute.
I've only eaten a croissant today.
I need to have lunch immediately.
Fuck. I don't know
if we
if
were in our
home.
mid-20s, this would be fine.
Yeah, I'm too old for this shit. I shouldn't have put that in this. I have
to go lift a tire after this.
We've been having guests on the show, and I went into the segment wheel, and I was like, "Fuck, I should maybe edit some of these." I wrote all the segments when the show's premise was just Thomas and I doing the show, so I don't know sometimes what I'm getting people into. Oh man. Well,
I feel good. I feel great.
Yeah. What did you all drink? So I had the sweet salted caramel Crown Royal.
I showed the listeners, but old smoky moonshine.
Smoky moon.
I've got maple whiskey. It's almost gone.
There we
go.
Really
good in coffee cider.
Yeah. I almost grabbed this s'mores Baileys I have upstairs. But I thought that
would have been maybe less intense.
Yeah, I thought that would for sure be too much. Wow. I guess let's see.
Should we maybe read one more definition at random to define our current experience?
Yeah, let's Katie open up the book again. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I don't know how to describe the feeling.
In years. I haven't done shots I think since before the pandemic. I feel fucking terrible.
Why? You wrote the segment.
Yeah, man.
Here we go.
Yeah.
The word is end zoned. End zoned.
Oh.
The hollow feeling of having gotten exactly what you thought you wanted, only to learn that it didn't make you happy.
Oh. That's the feeling our listeners get at the end of every episode. Yeah. This is what they promised, and it's not good or interesting.
End zone.
I got end zone. We should make a t-shirt. I got end zoned on Oops All segments.
Yeah. I was on Oops All segments, and all I did was get end zoned.
It does sound like a sex thing.
Yeah, it does sound like a sex thing.
Sure.
Kaity, thank you so much for bringing yourself to the podcast, your technological expertise.
Oh, yeah.
And
do you have anything to plug, Kaity?
No. I mean, I'm going to write a book next year.
Sure.
Cool.
Keep your eyes
We're going to start plugging it. I haven't even started the manuscript.
No idea what it's about.
Just a goal that you're gonna have.
But I'm saying it out loud, so I'm like manifesting. I'm so determined. I'm gonna do it.
Taking 3 shots on a Sunday is a good way to become an author because a lot of them are drunks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true. Get that Hemingway energy.
Yeah. I'm gonna get started right now. As soon as we're off the
call. Since you are drunk, if you want to e-transfer me $15, some of our guests have done that. And I feel like it might just seem like a fun, woo, we're drunk, let's party, send Thomas some money.
Stop this because we like if we're gonna keep doing the show, every time we bring a guest, I'm gonna have to preface that you're gonna solicit them for money at the end of the show.
I don't do it every week, but I do it when I think I have a chance.
15, like 1.5, 15.
1.5, yeah, that would be huge.
Please don't send him $50, but I would argue that you shouldn't send him $15.
And I really think you should let her decide for herself.
Have you spent any money on making this show?
What?
Have you spent any money on making the show? Like I bought like our StreamYard subscription so we could record it. I paid for like equipment for things like that. I may have even purchased something for you to record.
Let's just say this was about 2 centimeters higher before I did the show.
You're old.
That's liquid money.
That works, folks. If you enjoyed listening to the show, please give us a 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. That goes a long way. Another piece of information that we would like to drop with you is if you want to submit a segment for us to try, check out our website, bio.site/oopsallsegments, and follow the links to our segment suggestion form. There you can type in a title for a segment description, and who you are, and we will enter it into the segment wheel, and it might come up in one of our shows. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, say hello down below, and if you can follow the show on social media pages at Oops All Segments, and you can check out our D&D show, What We Do in the Basement. Once again, I've been Kevin.
I've been Thomas. Happy New Year.
Thanks again to Caity Curtis for spinning the wheel with us. We will see you next week for another episode of Oops All Segments.
Bye.
Bye.